John's Gospel. We're in that period of the year called Eastertide. And it's a period between Easter Sunday and the Day of Ascension, and then a week later, the Day of Pentecost. So we're into that kind of flow. This is that really neat time. You just get to reflect on the power of the resurrection. If there's a core message, there's a core story, it's that Christ is risen.
He is risen indeed.
Isn't that? A couple of years ago, I said that at a Rotary Club thing. I told them what Easter was about, and I said, and so we ended up saying, He is risen.
He is risen indeed.
And you know, there were like 2 people there that said that. It was like, this year nobody said it, so I don't know. Either we're getting more secular, it seems like one of the goals for the world is to kind of marginalize God. And it seems to be working very effectively. So I'm trying to screw up that method. And see if we can, return God to the rightful place that God normally has anyhow, which is the King of the universe, the one who's in charge of all of life. Well, the resurrection happened. The disciples only heard stories about it. They weren't quite ready yet to commit themselves. In fact, they were really scared. And so they ended up locked in a house, trying to protect themselves against everything they thought could hurt them. And here's what happened. This is the 20th chapter of John. Later that day, the day of resurrection, the disciples had gathered together, but fearful of the Jews and the Romans and cockroaches and everything else. They locked all the doors in the house. Jesus entered, stood among them, and he said, "Peace to you." And they showed him his hands inside. Did you watch the movie, the Bible?
Yes.
Wasn't that the most amazing scene when he said, "Peace to you," and you saw right through his hand? It was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. It was the most amazing sense of, when I was a kid, that's what I always thought it was. Like it was a hole they go, he could literally, you could just see right through where the nail holes were. And it's that kind of imagery. He showed himself. The disciples seen the Master, but their own eyes were exuberant. Jesus repeated his greeting, "Peace to you. Just as the Father sent me, I send you." And then he took a deep breath and he breathed into them. "Receive the Holy Spirit," he said. If you forgive someone's sins, they're gone for good. If you don't forgive sins, what are you going to do with them? I love that logic. Thomas, sometimes called the twin, one of the 12, was not with them when Jesus came. The other disciples told him, "We saw the Master." And he said, "Unless I see the nail holes in his hand, unless I put my finger in the nail holes and stick my hand in his side, I won't believe it." 8 days later, his disciples were again in the room. This time, Thomas was with them. And Jesus came through the locked door, stood among them, and he said, "Peace to you." Then he focused his attention on Thomas. "Take your finger here, examine my hands. Take your hand, stick it here at my side. Don't be unbelieving. Believe." And Thomas said, "My Master, my God." And Jesus said, "So you believe because you've seen with your own eyes. Even better blessings are in store for those who believe without seeing." While Jesus provided far more God-revealed signs that are written down in this book, these are written down so that you believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and in the act of believing, have real and eternal life in the way he personally revealed it. That was quite a day, quite a week. Amazing events. And I was reflecting on just the impact of those as you think about that day of resurrection. The disciples didn't quite know what was going to happen. They weren't quite ready for it, whoever it could be. They'd seen him die. They'd seen him put in the stone, in the tomb with the stone across the front. They heard these stories, but it was from the women. Who would believe that? Yeah, they kind of got what they deserved. The women told the truth. Often happens that way. There they are, fearful that the forces that killed Jesus were kind of unrestrained and looking for his followers. That's a reasonable fear, isn't it? The Romans could come do the same thing to them they did to Jesus. Peter found himself denying Jesus 3 times because of that sense of danger that there was around him. And so they went and they locked themselves into the building, and they just hoped that nothing would happen. I love that imagery because I think that is so true of what happens in life. Things occur, they frighten you, they scare you. You think about things in your future or things that may be occurring in your life today, and you think, wow, if I could just lock myself away, if I could just close the windows and if nobody could get close to me, then I'd be okay. Fear keeps a lot of people locked up. Just being scared about what could happen, what might happen. Our brains are so good, we can cast a fear about anything. You know, I know it's going really well today, but tomorrow could. You know, and you're just always filled with concerns about what might happen. You know, some people are so concerned somebody will discover who they really are, that they're not as perfect and wonderful as they think that you should see them. You know, I'm just wonderful. Inside of them, you're a crummy person. And you know, a lot of folks, the way they build that house around themselves, they just add a couple layers of fat, keep you away. Or they develop some bad habits of how they treat others and talk to others, so they're always doing this, pushing you back. That's just like being in that locked room. They're so fearful of life, so fearful of what might happen. The story is exactly what happens when Christ enters life. He didn't wait for them to say, Lord, come and help us. He didn't wait for them to say, we're scared, we're frightened, we're going to just keep away from everybody. Everything's going to be okay if we just kind of minimize the problems. No, Jesus came in right in the middle of their fears. He stepped in and he said, peace. Peace be with you. Isn't that really what we want in our life? I mean, if you were one of those people that are really caught up, worried about things, worried about the future, you got fears that are overwhelming you, let Christ just step into your life and say, here am I. Accept my peace. It's just an amazing imagery, isn't that? The peace of God. The Old Testament word for peace is shalom. You probably heard that, whole expression. Shalom doesn't mean the same as peace does in English. In English, when we say peace, it generally means the absence of violence. And that's about as deep as it goes. Sometimes there's inner peace, and you think of, I'm a little bit calm today. Peace in the Old Testament sense, in the biblical sense, the word shalom or eirene in Greek, the word basically means wholeness, well-being. May everything kind of like coming together in your life the way God created it to be. May you experience just abundant life. That's the meaning of shalom. Jesus says to them, shalom. Peace to you. May you experience God's wholeness and well-being. It is a gift. And then he breathes on them the gift of the Holy Spirit. Isn't that something? The word breath, spirit, wind, are all the same word. He breathes into them the Spirit of God. And he says, now you have the power to live without fear. Now you have the power knowing that death no longer has control over you. Now you can let go of all the brokenness in your life. Forgive others as I have forgiven you. Isn't that amazing, the call he gives? You can forgive others. It's obviously our ministry, God's gift of forgiveness to another. But how many times do people sit around and beat up on the same issue all through their life over and over and over again? Let go of it. You don't need it. I love his thing. If you keep them, what are you going to do with it? I don't know. I don't need all that stuff. Fertilizer's no good in the pile, but it's really good spread out over the ground. Get it out the pile. Move it from your life. Let the forgiveness of God come in. Allow him to bring you the wholeness he needs. The language is, the past is finished and gone. Everything has become fresh and new. If you're not experiencing that, let Christ step in. Let him take away the guilt. Let him take away the sin. And you are like a beautiful new tablet ready to have God draw pictures on. What an awesome thing that is. What is it that God is about? Bringing peace. Bringing an absence to that hole within us that we just can't quite figure out why I feel empty. Well, it's the presence of God needs to be there. And when God is present in their life, things become whole and peaceful. You're forgiven. So I look at what we're doing back in all of these, the murder, that was, start my tongue over. Down at Aurora, where the guy murders all the people in the theater down there, back at Sandy Hook, it feels good, the kind of legislation effectively it's not doing a thing. It's like kabuki theater. You know what a kabuki theater is? They have little stick figures that are light is shine from behind, and you see the shadow on the cloth, and you think, that's really great stuff happening back there. Just a little piece of cardboard moving around. You know, I don't care what political persuasion you are, that's all that they can give us. The way the world thinks about violence and the harming of another is let's take away the toys they have. Well, I have 2 daughters. If they sat in the back seat together, they didn't need a weapon. They just walked on each other because it seems to be what people like to do. It's called sin. You know, it had nothing to do with, I could have taken away everything, and they still would have found a way to do that. That's kids. We're just big kids. The world is full of the same thing. It's a heart issue. Unless you experience peace in your heart, there's never going to be peace out here. It's peace with God. When that relationship is right, everything in here gets transformed. And suddenly, this now affects everybody else you meet. You know, one time in my life, I thought I was going to be like, Roy Rogers or whatever. I had my big Southern gun, and I justified it because who knows, maybe an elk would charge me and I'd have to shoot him. Or some other really rational reason. And then I realized one day, for me, I don't need a weapon. I can kill somebody if I want. I mean, I look at my own being, my own sinfulness. I can get angry enough I could hurt somebody. And I decided I didn't need the weapon. I just sold it to a cop. He did need it. And what would I do with a .357 Magnum anyhow? Made this year go deaf. Well, each of us make our own choices, but it's the eternal peace, knowing that God's got you covered. He never lets go. Death has one goal in life, which is to suck the life out of you. And literally, the taste and touch of death we get every day to live our life. Death wants you to be terrified about it. Christ overcame death. That's the power of the resurrection. Death no longer has a say in your life. It happens in this world, but life eternal is coming. The resurrection is yours. Relax. God is in charge. What an awesome thing. You think of all the scary things that our world offers. How could a crazy person bring harm to you? Well, they get drunk and they drive into you with their car. You fall down a faulty set of stairs because the guy that built it didn't do the job well. Somebody shoots you. You go on a campus and the guy attacks you with a knife. I mean, there's all sorts of good places you can be scared, aren't there? Instead, know that death doesn't have power over you. You are the one group of people that are free in this world. Death is lost. Christ has brought resurrection. Well, so about a week later, Thomas finds himself standing there trying to tell his friends that he's not going to be put on by any more of their jokes. They're not going to tease him the way they've been doing. Every group of guys I know has one guy in the group that never gets the joke. No matter how you tell, there's one person just, and I shouldn't do this, but they're kind of fun to play with.